All right, so in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a very important marketing strategy that you can use right now to generate leads, qualified leads, and sales for your window company. It's actually a game changer because many companies have not actually clued in on this. So it will actually give an advantage because it's the same strategy I've actually used to generate 1,000 leads for our partners in the last month, right? So it's called the propaganda strategy. And before you think that sounds sketchy, let me show you why the biggest companies actually work on this exact playbook, right? Okay, so first of all, let's just talk about what propaganda really means, right? So when you hear about propaganda, you probably think, what, negative manipulation. You probably think about, what, Second World War, or crazy um, governments, right? Trying to, doing sketchy stuff. But basically, what propaganda actually is repeated messaging that shapes people's belief over time, right? That's basically what it is, right? So we can use this for good or use this for bad, right? So every major brand does this. Coca-Cola doesn't run one ad. They've been running the same ad, thousands of them with the same core message, right? Nike has been saying just do it for over 35 years, right? But then they are actually ingrained in our psyche, in our memory, because they've been doing this over and over time, right? So, but then the thing is, most window companies are actually running the same, ad, like say $500. Um, will will get a quote for a limited time only. So I actually see some ads actually say 0% down or $20 a month for Windows, which will get people to engage, but then it is the wrong type of people. We are actually not building a brand. You're actually not building any asset in the viewers minds, right? So what do we do differently? What should we do differently, right? Before we actually talk about that, let's talk about the iceberg effect, right? This is actually very, very interesting, right? Only 3% of your market, only 3% of the people that are the audience are actually active in the market. There are people that are actually searching, going on Google to say they will actually want new windows. And then the thing is, all companies are targeting this 3%. If you're actually if you're running Google ads, well, yeah, it's fine. It's the highest intent audience, but it's the most expensive because everybody's trying to, hammer these people, right? They probably see ads from like five, six, seven different window companies every day because they've raised their hands to say, what, they actually want windows, right? But then there's the 97%. There's like a lot of people, like, kind of in that untapped audience, just lying low. They do want windows, they need it, right? But then they're not really active at the moment, but we can activate these people. Here's where we see the potential. Here's where, in my company, we actually target people that are in the 97%. That's the people that are under the water, right? That's why we call this the iceberg effect, right? You can only see 3% at any one time, but there's a huge mass under the water that are just lying low, that just need to be activated, right? These people aren't being bombarded from messages with, five, six companies. Well, they not yet, right? So what we can do is we can activate them, right, by having basically the monopoly of influence, right? What do you call the monopoly of influence? Like, let me give you like a story, right? Growing up, our parents basically were the first people to influence us, right? So they, basically what they did, what they said, we kind of mimicked what they said. We kind of mimicked the way they acted, and they shaped the earlier part of our lives, right? And they had that monopoly up until we grew up, and then we started going to school, started meeting other people, and they were like, "Oh my God, wow, there's this huge other life out there, of other people out there that we can actually learn from videos, from celebrities, from friends, family, right?" So right now, the 97% are kind of, I would say, they're kids, right? So what we can actually now do is we can now become the parents and have that monopoly of influence over them, right? And then how do we do that? How do we do that? We do that by deploying what we call the trust multiplier content strategy, right? So basically, what it is basically education on steroids. Just like how our parents, had the monopoly of education, we actually have the monopoly of education right now, right? So this is some examples that we've done in other niches. We've done this for window companies as well too, where we're actually deploying 20, 30 videos over time, right? And they're actually people are actually watching these videos and they're being influenced. This is what we call the propaganda strategy. Like you basically hammer them with videos every day, right? And I'm going to show you how we actually, are able to, implement this. But before I do that, let me show you what do we actually say in those videos, right? So what we do is we deploy what we call the value dense content. We're actually educating these clients, right? So we have different stages. There's the awareness, consideration, and the decision stage, right? So we have different content like 5 signs it's time to replace your Windows. Most people miss number 3. That's a hook right there. That hooks them in and thinking, you know what? Why do I actually really need to replace my Windows? What new windows actually cost in your city. People are looking for, they actually want to know how much it's going to cost. And that's actually the real reason why they're probably dormant. They're thinking, you know what, it's going to be like, I don't know, $20,000 or maybe a little bit more. So they kind of just put it off. But when they actually see a post that actually shows that, you know what, it's actually not that bad, or you could actually, you could do this, you could do that, or you could use this kind of material, then they now become activated, right? How long should Windows last? Then we now go to now get them into that, consideration stage, how to spot a bad window installation, what a proper window installation actually looks like, right? So now, as you said, at this point, awareness, they're actually kids, right? This is where we have the monopoly of, influence. And we can take them from this stage to this stage to this stage. But in the 97%, some of them are already in decision stage. Some of them are already in the consideration stage. Some of them are already in the awareness stage, right? But all this content, we're able to hit them from multiple angles, right? And it's not that expensive to actually do, because running videos, which I'm going to show you how we do it on social media, is actually cheap. Your cost per mil, cost per 1,000 views is sometimes, if you do it properly, if you do the videos properly, you're looking at 2 cents to maybe 20 cents, right? So if I can reach 100 people with 20 cents, there's no reason why we shouldn't be doing this, right? There's almost no reason why. Sometimes it's almost like illegal to like not even decide not to do this. Like, it's being ignorant most of the times, right? But anyways, so what we do is for all this content we implement videos. We also do emails and blog posts, but that comes at a later stage, and I've actually explained this um, in a different video of how we implement these funnels. But then imagine we have 20 to 30 videos from all this value dense content, right? And then what we now do is take that and then deploy this. So this is how we actually deploy this for our clients, right? So when we're generating leads, we don't just generate leads and then send that directly to them, right? So what we also do is we have retargeting happening here, right? So on the platforms, right? Again, we mostly use Meta and YouTube, right? So Meta is Instagram and Facebook. So we can track how many people have watched our video, right? So we have what we call the Trojan horse video to start with. So that Trojan horse video, I'm going to explain that in a different video, right? Is a video that actually does the activation. It actually does the activation of the people under the water in the iceberg. But then we can all track how many, like how much of the video they've actually watched, right? So when we see people that have watched 95% of that video, and even of the same video that we're actually showing them as well, to right, the the value dense content videos, right? So that's these ones here, right? So we track everything. So when we see here that people have actually watched 95% of that video, right? Or they've actually clicked over to the quiz or clicked over to the site, right? Then we put them in an audience, and we call that a retargeting audience. So we have about 2,000 people. It's easy to get to 2,000 people in an audience, right? 2,000 people that we're actually taking, and we have that monopoly of influence over. Then we can pick our leads, pick and choose our leads from that group of people. Then we now show them the propaganda content, right? So imagine someone clicking on one video, right? So one video, watching 95% of that video. So we know in our minds they are actually interested, right? Then they see 2, 3, 4, 5 videos over the next week. Sometimes they might see 10 videos over the next week because we have 30 videos, more than 30 actually, in the pool that are being retargeted. So that's how we do it. So imagine, so now that person is being educated with the value dense content over time, right? So if you now think about it, when they now decide to actually choose a window company they want to work with, who are they going to choose? Are they going to choose the client, the company that is saying, okay, you know what, you get 0% down, and then you work with them. But then when we've like kind of nurtured them to know that we actually want to be careful about going cheap, right? Then they wouldn't do that. Then they wouldn't go with that company. So this is how we are able to get qualified leads for our partners, right? So that's basically the propaganda strategy, right? So it's, as I said, the propaganda strategy is repeated education that shifts people's beliefs over time, right? Use this in your in your marketing. If your lead vendor is not doing this, let them know that they need to kind of up their game. But if you want us to help you generate leads for your winner replacement company, there's going to be a link in the description. Book a call, and then we'll be there to actually help you as well. So we'll have a chat, and then we'll see how we can help your company. Looking forward to hearing from you. See you in the next video.